His name is Arseniy Yatsenyuk. He's the prime minister designate. He's about to be voted in as the interim leader of this country for the next 3 months as they prepare for an election. Parliamentarians still chewing over the decision, but we think that they're going to vote in this government any time now.
Ryan, how front and center is the Crimea to the management in Kiev?
Very front and center. So I was standing in the Ukrainian parliament here in Kiev. Meanwhile, in the Crimea, the parliament had just been seized by a group of about 100 gunmen. So, I asked the prime minister about that, and he said that's the very first crisis he's got to deal with, and he plans to deal with it immediately.
Ryan, the territorial integrity and unity of my country, and we will do everything we can, everything possible, and we will use all tools and legal means in order to stabilize the situation in Crimea.
The thing about this, Tom, is, for 3 months during the unrest on the streets, the worry was that some of the regions in the west of the country would secede because they didn't like President Yanukovych and they didn't like the sort of Russian influence. And now we have just the opposite situation with a threat.
Right.
And at this point, it's just a threat of these regions in the east and the south seceding. I mean, this guy, this new prime minister, he's got an awful lot on his plate. Hardly somebody that you would envy. I mean, he said he's going to be this country's least ever prime minister in my interview with him.
Ryan, within your work in London, what will be the response of the United Kingdom to what we've seen in the last 24 hours?
Look, they've been very clear that they're prepared to support Ukraine in dealing with its financial problems. And, obviously all of the NATO countries are being very vocal that they expect Russia to stay out of it militarily. I think the real issue here is to what extent is the West going to open its wallet? We heard the U.S. say they're going to pony up $1 billion in loan guarantees. Well, this country needs $35 billion by its own estimate over the next 2 years to avoid a default. So they've got $34 billion to go in collection. And Arseniy Yatsenyuk, the prime minister that I just spoke with, that's about to be voted in, he's now designate, it's going to be his job to find the cash.